Well, hello there, and welcome to some more War Thunder. I'm driving the Panzer IIIL in a simulator battle today, and I joined this battle a little late, but that's not too big a deal. But I wanted to kind of talk more about the Poland map in this game. You'll notice through the course of this replay that occasionally things get a little chaotic. Tanks are where they shouldn't be, or they'll appear in a place where you would least expect them. And the, I guess, crowded confines of the little bit of city we have on this map really makes it hard to keep track of enemies. There's going to be a couple instances where Su-122s appear from nowhere, and you're like, wait, what? I don't know. But it's also interesting because we're going to see later that there seems to be a premium on controlling the southern ridge on the southern part of the lake there, because we're going to see enemy tanks up there the entire game. And in all the games I've played on Poland, most of the time, because I don't want to say all the time, but I kind of want to say all the time rather, that southern ridge is pretty heavily fought over, or if it's not fought over, it's taken, and then the team that takes it generally wins. And I've driven over there once, but I didn't get all the way up onto the ridge. So I think next time I get this map in a fast tank, I'm just going to bolt over there and check it out. But I'm still trying to learn the city. I'm really interested in learning the layout of the city so that I can expect where people are coming from and really take advantage of the alleys and the streets and such. See, right here I'm going to start engaging some medium tanks that have blitzed down the southern shore there. And they're kind of an issue because they can flank our entire advance into the city. But first, there's a random Su-122 in the middle of the street looking directly at a Stug 3F. It's a bold life choice. I don't know quite how he got there, but we're going to set him on fire. I'm going to start taking hits, and it's going to be from, I believe, a T-34-57. The Su-122 actually just knocked out the Stug 3F, but I have lit him on fire twice. So one more, get him on fire, just go for the neck, go for it. Got him. So that's the third fire. He's not putting that one out. He's going to burn down. But now I have to engage this medium tank. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it's a T-34. It might just be a T-34 based on the rate of fire of the gun. Probably, yeah, L11. I can just, why am I guessing? I can just look over there. And this is a matchup that clearly favors me. The issue I'm going to have, I switched to APCR because we're at a range and he's angled and I'm struggling to penetrate him. But the issue you have is that APCR doesn't get the same normalization, so it's actually maybe less effective here. Ultimately what needs to happen is I need to move positions. I need to get out of here because eventually he's going to range in, eventually he's going to hit me, and he might actually do some damage because it is a 76mm gun. And then there's a medium tank that just came over here and killed our Stug. But I just fired through the tree because I couldn't see him, but someone's actually taking him out. So, just to check. But he's definitely dead. So now we have... It's interesting because it appears on the mini-map that we are trying to push into the town, into the city. We're on the northern side, they're on the southern side, mainly on the southern ridge. However, there are a few of them inside the city, as we'll find out. It's definitely where, more so in War Thunder than in World of Tanks. In World of Tanks city maps, you usually could react pretty fast, and you also had a health pool, so it didn't matter if you got hit once. You probably have enough health to turn around and shoot them. But in this map, in War Thunder, turret rotation isn't that fast. Hull traverse isn't that fast. Engine power isn't that strong. I guess, because you can't just reverse on a dime, you know. You have to like stop the tank and then back up. And right there I got hit by something. I have no idea what. And all of a sudden there's an Su-76M that I just didn't see. Because it's just, there's so many things you have to keep track of here. Fortunately for me, he didn't kill me outright, but I'm going to get a nasty surprise here soon. There goes his vertical and horizontal. But before I can polish him off, I get nailed by an Su-122. So that's a little unfortunate. You can see from the kill cam exactly what happened. But it's a huge slug. It's going to wreck the front of my tank, whether he's firing AP or HE. I can't remember exactly what the shells are on the Su-122, but it certainly has HE. So, jumping into my second vehicle, and things have developed. We've been losing tanks this whole time. They have those mediums, and then they have another Su-122 on the southern ridge, and they're just shelling our guys as they come into the city. And also, it's Poland's a weird map. Let's just say that, because I could go from here. I could go directly south. I'm looking at the mini map, so if that, it'll make more sense if you're watching the mini map as well, or you don't have to. If I go directly south and flank down along the ridge, I can maybe be able to control that and provide supporting fire into the city. However, there's a spawn, an enemy spawn that's fairly close to that. So that basically assures the southeastern team control of that southern ridge for a while, until you can get enough numbers up there to overwhelm it. Now, in terms of getting into the city, I don't know who has the advantage, actually. I feel like the northwestern team does, just from experience, because usually they're the first ones into the city, and they're usually the ones who press the issue and sweep through a majority of the city, and end up fighting on the edge of the city with the southern team's tanks in the field there, or in the trees and things. But it's really interesting. I do think they need to rethink some of the spawns. I've seen those things on like Reddit and wherever. It hasn't happened to me yet, where like one spawn is ridiculously close to the cap and the other spawn is ridiculously far away. I mean, that's just balancing issues. I'm sure they're going to fix that fairly soon, even if they wait for the statistical data, like they said about rank 5. But we're actually going to get a close call here eventually. Just checking to make sure that Su-122 was dead. I'd seen the battle message, but I wasn't sure. The main issue we're going to have is that they're going to be shooting down on us from an elevated position, which is unfortunate, to say the least. However, it's interesting. I'm going to get lucky. I'm going to get lucky here once. But that's why I think this map is so intriguing to me, is the fact that I can't tell where the most valuable position is on the map. It's like on Karelia, for example, the center hill. Whoever controls that basically wins the game, to some degree. It's very hard to win the game and not have control of that hill as a result, or as a side effect. On Ash River, I think controlling the southern ridge really basically gives you the win, because if you can control that, you can affect 2/3 of the map, and the other third of the map, even on domination, is only 1/3 of your victory conditions, and you only need 2/3 to win, if that makes any sense. You can cap 2 points and still win. But on Poland, I can't tell. Honestly, I don't know if the city is realistically valuable. The southern ridge appears to be valuable just because of how games have gone, how games have been decided based on that. But at the same time, I don't know, because as you're going to see here, I think it's more so that we have Russian guns engaging German guns at, fairly long range. Look at the marker here, about 800 meters or so. So that's kind of in the German team's ballpark. That's especially in the tank I'm driving's ballpark, the Panzer 3L. And that shell went short, which was good for me. And I got a solid hit on him. But I had exited scope, so I lost the aim. But that's kind of the thing with, I guess, German tanks, is that their guns perform really well at range, at least once you get past like rank 1, basically. So I guess I've kind of come to the conclusion that Poland in some ways favors German guns over Russian guns, mainly because of the fact that if you don't go into the city, you can keep your enemy fairly at arm's length. If you can let the Russian team take the city and then just sit in the woods or on the ridges and just use your gun depression to present them a difficult target and then just spam shells into the city. And you're closer to your spawn, so if you do get knocked out and you do have a second spawn or whatever the game mode is, you'll be able to take advantage. However, something where the Russians have a clear advantage, and it's the same thing you see on Kursk, is that, and this Su-122 completely drove by me. And I don't blame him, because I just did that not too long ago. First shell got his gunner, second shell knocks him out, kills basically the entire crew. But, I mean, that's what I'm talking about with this map. When you're in the city, you have no idea what's going on. If you just, every time you approach a corner, you have to be careful. You have to look both ways before crossing the street, all that stuff. Because there's just there really isn't any room for error. The corners, the confined space, the fact that tanks don't turn very well in War Thunder, because tanks don't turn very well. That's reasonable. These are large machines, very heavy compared to like a car or something like that. But I'm trying to give this T-34 the good news, and I think we got him pretty good. Now there is one player left. It's an Su-122 who's on that southern ridge. He's the guy I hit, and he's likely fallen back because of the hit I gave him, which knocked out his loader. It's 2v1, and we have a guy pushing along the southern ridge. So before too long, he's going to take care of him. But I'm a little concerned because that guy almost hit me. I think he seemed like he was a pretty decent shot with the old Su-122. But there we go, knocks him out, no problems. And don't worry, I'm honorable. There is water nearby. We just won, so that means I will try and throw myself into the water, because that is the only honorable thing to do when you win on a map with water, is to throw yourself into the water to celebrate. Now obviously I should have just taken a right turn, but I didn't realize the horrible nature of my ways. I was going to survive the match and not be drowned in the water. So I quickly go for a turn, and I'm going to barely get into the water before the game cuts out. But that game kind of illustrates what I'm talking about with the idea that Poland is a really confusing map. And I think at least for me to get better at it, I'm going to have to pick one part of the map, learn it inside and out, and then expand my horizons a little bit. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I've been Corny Swiss, and I'll see you next time.